Welcome to Survivor NSFW, a look at Netflix's U.S. version of The Circle. Episodes 1 through 4 just dropped today on Netflix. No, Matt Bischoff has not shaved his beard. That is Dave Westwood, a professional podcaster for over 5 years. Dave, welcome to Survivor NSFW and this special look at Netflix's The Circle.
Hey, thanks for having me, Johnny. This is pretty cool. So, and yeah, I don't have the facial hair like Matt, but we'll get it.
Oh, good. All right. So we were talking before we went on the air. You have not seen the UK version of The Circle. And I will admit that I've only seen, I believe, the first 5 episodes of season 1, but I love them. I was all in. I just haven't had free time. Like the first extended amount of television viewing time that I've had available in forever was over weekend. And so I binged Don't Fuck with Cats and You seasons 1 and 2 on Netflix. So I've been all in on Netflix. But as far as the YouTube, it's just easier to Netflix than it is to YouTube for me.
Definitely. I mean, it just kind of just goes one right into the other. I had forgotten I got through 4 episodes, quite frankly.
Yeah, I had no.
Holy crap! It's done.
Yeah. Because I had posted on Twitter, hey, who's watching the Circle, and and you posted the pic, and I'm just like, I was like, hey, like I'm trying to do a podcast same day. I'm like, I'm not sure when I'm going to finish, and I had 10 minutes left in episode 3. I'm just like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish here shortly. So, but getting back to the UK version of the Circle, I liked it a lot better. I don't think the US version is bad, and I liked it, but what I saw in the UK version, I loved. Their characters just the British accent makes you sound smarter anyways. So they could have been complete idiots. And then I'm just like, wow, they're all geniuses because they talk this way.
Well, I'm not so sure. I mean, I watched Love Island UK, and they definitely sounded British. I don't know how much more intelligent they sounded, but but I did like the UK version of Love Island better than the US version. So if that's any indication, then I'm definitely going to look forward to going back to YouTube and watching probably over this weekend, actually.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, the characters just felt just more larger than life than these did. And there's a guy, Freddie, and like I think the US version, I think we get an archetype of each of those characters from the UK version, but I just love their UK counterparts so much more. And Freddie, who is the Chris of the US version, very comparable, except Freddie pretended to be straight.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, there was no pretending with Chris.
and just imagine this Chris character. So, as I said, different show, and I've even heard season 2 of the UK version is even better. So we'll see. Let's walk through season 1, our cast of characters at episode 1, and where we're at. So we start off with Chris, who brings posters of himself. And we get the first one-liner in from our host. He asked if the poster's straight, and she says that's the only thing straight in that room.
and definitely right about that. So like I said, definitely no doubt he was fitting the archetype. I think what surprised me, and we're going to delve into it, is how many people were kind of straddling that fence, either on one side or both.
Wow. This was a very bi-friendly show, I think. Which, I think the UK version, kind of straddled that line, but I think it's a little more unique to the US audience. So, but I mean, it's just cross section of society in 2020 in America. So It isn't quite as this way or that way as the pictures have been painted, years past.
Right. Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with it, right?
So next we're introduced to Joey Sasso, who says, "Yeah, buddy," about 8,000 times, just like his counterpart, the situation on Jersey Shore. Joey Sasso is a low budget situation. Are we all in on that?
I think we are, but I liked him though. He kind of grew on me as the episodes went on, as opposed to going the other direction. So
yeah, I hated him more and more every second. And to any Italian that thinks they look like a young Bobby De Niro, that's every fucking Italian. You look like a young Bobby De Niro. So it's not unique to you. That's the one fucking impression that you all do. I've seen it. I got it. Like, stop it. So no, I hated this dude. I just fucking hate, like, we'll get to Joy conversations. So but just initial thing, I'm just like low budget situation, and all the shit he uses for his face to be not that good looking a dude.
That I couldn't get into. It was like he was more makeup than any of the females on the show.
Yeah. I mean, he's got all the cleanser, and I'm just like you're wasting a lot of money, dude. Just a ton of money. But GTL, tan laundry. What are you gonna do? Next, we have Alana from Texas. She splits her time, Texas and Los Angeles. She is a hot model and a full-time model, as she chose to put on her bio, which I felt at the very beginning not a good move. Am I wrong?
Apparently not.
but without knowing what you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to integrate yourself with the crowd, you don't want to put yourself out there as somebody that's above them. So, like, if you're saying, "Hey, I'm a model," then everybody else is going to think, well, they don't want anything to do with her. And apparently that's how it went down, right?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at I look at the circle like other competition reality shows, like a Big Brother, or even more so Survivor. And you're thinking day one, or even before day one, that final jury speech. You go back to David versus Goliath, and you have Nick Wilson, the hillbilly lawyer, whose mother OD'd. And I mean, just his dad sold blood for milk. I mean, it's just like, that story is just like, let me give you the money, and
the money.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm a full-time model, and I'm a full-time model, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, I don't, I'm sure she works hard modeling. 98% of the population do not see what she does as modeling, or as working, rather. Sorry.
Right. And
yeah,
I haven't seen any of her work, so I can't say where they are.
But I mean, that's the perception of most people. It's just like, congratulations that you're beautiful. Congratulations that you have a job. But that's not ask a construction worker if modeling is a job.
Not a blue collar job by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. So I just don't see that as in game. Someone sitting there going, well, that's who I want to give $100,000 to. A girl that I don't think really that really works.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it puts a target on your back initially, but then if you get to the end, right, who's going to give the model the money?
Yeah.
When you compare it to the rest of the people on the cast, right?
Sure. So next we have Rebecca, And before we learn anything more about Rebecca, I'm learning that Rebecca loves Snapchat filters, and I hate them. I'm okay with a personal message between me and the girlfriend or whatever, just like, we're sitting here watching TV and you do like the little antlers or something. That's fun. But if you're looking at someone's, Instagram or something like that, and I don't know, 100% of their pictures, they use Snapchat filters. I'm like, honestly, you see about 10% of what this person really looks like, maybe less.
Right. And in this show, if you're attempting to come off as genuine, definitely not the way to go about it. Right.
Yeah. Snapchat filters on it. But it turns out to be even more shifty in that Rebecca is not really Rebecca at all. It's really Seaburn. And Seaburn is a guy pretending to be his girlfriend, Rebecca. So he is using her pictures. Fortunately for him, not all of them had the Snapchat filter used on them. So, which, good for him. We'll see. So, I think he made one major mistake early, which was picked up on. But I think since then he's safely navigated. And actually, I think going into finishing episode 4, I think Seaburn has a bigger advantage than anyone else in the house. But we'll get to that once we get there.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think he's, aside from putting the filtered picture as his profile picture, her profile picture. I think.
Well, Rebecca's initial pick is not a filtered picture.
Oh, that's right.
Mercedes is.
Yes.
Yeah. Now Rebecca's or
confused, right?
It is the poodle hair pick.
Right.
But we'll break these characters down. We're just going with the initial thing here. Next, we have Samantha, who will later. Oh, I'm sorry. Next is Showbomb, and Showbomb will later be referred to as Shuby.
Shuby, yeah.
And Shuby hates social media, and maybe, just maybe, this isn't the show for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the draw for me if I hated social media, right?
Yeah. So we'll get to Shuby. Next, we have Samantha, who will later be referred to as Sammy for the majority of the episodes, and she works with autistic children and posts ass pics.
Hell of a combination. So
yes.
Well, hey, nothing like good ass pics.
Well, I once again, I'm looking at that final jury speech. There's she's getting my vote.
Of course she is.
Yes. We also learned that she is bisexual, and congratulations to her for that. Next, we have Antonio, and Antonio is a professional basketball player. He's played in Spain, Portugal, and France. I liked Antonio right out of the gate, but it was like the stock market, I don't know, however many years ago.
It took a quick turn for the worse for Antonio. That's for sure.
Yeah, so his likability did not ascend like his hoop skills.
No,
Next we have Karen. Who would be best described as a lesbian thug by her. But she will be playing as Mercedes with the Z, and she's all about the Snapchat filter.
Yeah, she is. So, and that was something that did kind of initially, make people kind of look the other way to say, oh, nice pick.
Yeah. Okay, so the game begins, and we have Alana starting the first alliance, an all-girls alliance.
Shocker.
Don't say it out loud. And to form an alliance on the circle, the only way you communicate with each other in your individual apartments is through the social media app known as the circle. So Alana starts a group chat called the Skinny Queens. And that goes over like a fart in church with the rest of her alliance members.
They did seem a bit put off by it, didn't they?
Yes. So it's not everyone's skinny. We're, why are you calling us queens? I don't. But the big red flag in this initial conversation is Rebecca, in that Rebecca did not realize that Chris was gay. And
Rebecca was the only one, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And that was a red flag. So they're just like, how's this girl's gaydar not going off? So, like maybe a stupid guy wouldn't pick up on that, but girls know.
Right.
So huge red flag. The only flaw I've seen in Rebecca's game thus far. So.
Yeah. And I think Rebecca did recover from that, but definitely a red flag.
As I said, we'll see if it's a callback later, but I think, as I said, once we get to episode 4, I think Rebecca's in a great place. So not to be outdone by the Skinny Queens, we have a guy alliance, and they are called Bros Over Hoes, of course.
Yeah.
They
couldn't come up with a better name, I guess.
The Big Brother, this is not. I mean, I think I've hated most of the Big Brother nicknames I've heard, but the Skinny Queens and Bros Over Hoes, we might have 2 all-time lows.
Yeah, definitely. For season 2, they need to kind of up the alliance name game.
Yes. So next we have an alliance between Shuby and Rebecca, and that's pretty cool. I liked the two of those talking. Shuby is bottom of the barrel right now, almost pathetic to start the game.
Definitely,
but I think that enduring, the patheticness grows into an enduring quality, and I think we're getting the caterpillar into the butterfly.
Yeah, I think for Shuby, for someone that said, "Hey, I hate social media, don't want any part of it," he seemed to adapt really well after being on the bottom. And then it was once he got a couple people communicating with him, paying him compliments, it was like, "Hey, you like me?" You never experienced that before.
So I mean, I think he knew he was going in a disadvantage, accepted the disadvantage, and almost wrote himself out. So, but things worked out. Like I didn't think he was as in bad of a situation. Like, as low as he was on the totem pole, there's always someone else that has something more working against them.
Right. And I don't think he had anything working against him. And, similar to some Survivor players. And this is not to say that he's going to end up being the GOAT, not by any means. Like you said, I think it's a butterfly type story where his character and his position in the game is evolving. But initially, it was someone like, we don't need to eliminate him right now. He's perfectly safe.
Yeah. He's Elaine this last season of Survivor. So, next we learned that Sammy pees in the shower. Is that what we learned?
we learned Sammy pees in the shower, and it all goes down the drain, so it's all good.
Yeah. I know some girls that pee in the shower personally. You would be shocked to hear that, Dave.
I'm stunned. Did you take a poll?
I had a poll.
Yeah. Is this where the Blue Chew spot comes in?
I don't have a Blue Chew spot for this. There's a lot of people watching now that are probably turning off. They're just like, I just came for the Blue Chew plug. So, I will say for anyone watching and or listening, head on over to bluechew.com, use promo code Survivor and get yourself a free #SuperHardDick, and you only pay $5 shipping. So there you go. No charge, Blue Chew. I know you're paying attention. Okay. Next question we have up. Can money buy happiness, Dave Westwood?
Can money buy happiness?
Yeah.
Most people said no, but lack of money to me can, buy a hell of a lot of misery, right?
Yeah, the correct answer is yes, money can buy happiness.
Yes,
that's 100%. Absolutely. It can also buy a sandwich, which is very important to happiness. So, and pays your $5 shipping on Blue Chew. So
that's true. So,
is it fine?
Hard dick, right?
Yes. Is it fine to message a naked picture?
Depends what it is. I mean, and who you're messaging it to, right?
The correct answer is yes.
Yes.
It's okay. I wasn't sure what kind of game.
We found out right off the bat that Joey, was all in on that one. So
yes, he likes to refer to it as an eggplant. I'm not so sure. I don't know. I think a man that uses that many lotions on his face is. I mean, you need lotion other places too, buddy. So maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, it is Netflix, but let's hope we don't find out.
Yeah, I'm very curious because we hear Sammy saying she wished she could be naked, and I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you can.
Yeah. What's stopping you other than the camera?
Yeah. So I mean, it's rated TV mature. So next. Joey begins flirting with Alana, and this will be a recurring theme. Any girl that Joey has a one-on-one conversation with for more than 3 chat sentences, not only does he begin flirting, he is also in love and forever trusting as long as he's alive.
Yep. And I suspect that will continue on through the course of Joey's run on this season.
Yeah. That's why I hate Joey. That guy can be summed up by that alone. Low budget situation. You talk to him for more than 3 sentences. He will flirt with you incessantly, fall in love with you, and believe everything you say. Nothing more to learn about the character of Joey.
Pretty much. I mean, he's a walking stereotype, but
he is very much a walking stereotype. I mean, I guess.
He said he would have kissed Shuby if,
Yeah. So, and he has a bromance with Chris.
Yeah. So
he's playing the field.
Flirt with anyone.
Yeah.
Even though he has not said he's bisexual, unlike the
he is the only person in the house that is not bisexual. Next, we have Antonio, who is in a happily committed relationship. But that will not stop him from flirting with Mercedes because he is a sucker for a Snapchat filter, apparently. and even more so, our second biggest catfish in the house.
Yeah. And evidently, I mean, they put 2 catfish there, and both of them, I think he was ready to take the bait for. But
he is in a very committed, happy relationship.
Absolutely. His girl said, go out, win the money.
Win the money. Do whatever you got to do. Sleep with anyone if you have to. Please. I think he misread everything his girlfriend said going into this competition.
Most likely. But after tonight.
I think she said, go win. And he took that, at any cost.
Right. So hopefully
but I don't think
sitting there watching the show tonight.
Yeah. But I don't think she said the at any cost part.
No, most likely not.
Yeah. Okay, so we everyone votes. This is where the popularity contest aspect, high school, all over again for some of these people. And Sammy and Antonio are our first influencers. And I think it's really cool. They get the blue check, the little verified blue check beside their name.
Even if only temporarily, but yes,
Yes.
So, what was your thoughts on that whole inflation? Because some people were like, "Hey, I don't want to be too high on the rankings," and then later on, as it went on, they're like, "Oh my god, I'm at the bottom. I'm in trouble." So, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, I made a list of my top 10. Hold on, I Piper what? Piper! Do you have a top you have your top 8 list of people from where we started?
I
1 through 8, where you ranked them? If you had to look. You didn't know there was going to be homework, did you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have my top 8 list.
Who going into this first ranking? Who do you have at the top and who do you have at the bottom?
I would have had Alana at or near the top. I would have had Joey at the bottom, just because I would have thought he would have came across as a total douchebag and just annoyed the hell out of everybody. So I think for me, that's where I would have put them. Antonio, I wouldn't have necessarily had at the top. And I probably wouldn't have had Shuby at the bottom, where he ended up. But like I said, definitely Alana at the top, definitely Joey at the bottom. I actually thought Mercedes would have been at the bottom as well. Chris, I probably would have had near the top.
Okay, we're not too far off at the couple of discrepancies. Let me give my daughter watched. My Piper is 12 in a week and a half, and she had number 1 Chris, number 2 Alana, number 3 Sammy, number 4 Rebecca, number 5 Antonio, number 6 Mercedes, number 7 Joey, and number 8 Shbam.
Okay.
My list very different from hers, probably a little closer to yours. Number 1 Alana, number 2 Sammy, number 3 Antonio, number 4 Chris, number 5 Shoebomb, number 6 Rebecca, number 7 Joey, number 8 Mercedes, just based on that Snapchat filtered pic alone.
Yeah, I mean, I think right from the jump, I think they put themselves in a bad spot there. And yeah, I mean, I think Chris definitely had the likability factor to kind of be where, I thought he would be. And like you said, I think the 3 of our lists, Piper's list, wasn't too far off. It was kind of like a hybrid between your list and my list.
There you go. So Alana is our first blocked contestant, and here's the fun twist for those that were not expecting this going, and not seeing the UK stuff or seeing how the game is played. Once you're blocked, i.e. voted out of the game, you are given the opportunity to confront one person in the house and meet them in person. And so Alana confronts Sammy.
Correct. Yep.
And is mad.
I think she felt betrayed,
Yeah.
But
and I feel that she rats out Rebecca, but I think Sammy only partially accepts the intel.
Yeah, I think it definitely didn't click, because otherwise going forward, that would have put a huge red flag on
Yeah.
Rebecca, and we didn't see that happen at all. Like you said, I think
I
we're
think
in a very safe place right now.
Yeah, I think Sammy discounted Alana's intel because of the meanness behind it. She was like, she's just saying, she's just mad at me. So why should I believe it? And I thought she came across as, she was mad, but she was also honest. So
yeah, I think she was. And
yeah,
it's a shame she didn't pick up on that. I think, that aspect where, it's almost like getting to talk to a contestant as you're going off to the jury or something like that, where, you can glean some insight, and she failed to do that. So now you saw some of the episodes of the UK version.
Yeah.
What happens after they're blocked? Is there like a ponderosa? Do they just stay in the apartment? Or what happens? I mean,
as I said, I've watched just a little more than I've watched in the US version. Like I think I've watched 5 complete episodes of the UK version of season 1, and the chick was like, she was lame, so and she was voted out, and she was like, hey, like, no, but it's I don't want to spoil the UK, like their cast is a lot better. I mean, like, there's some really hateable people and some really likable people on the UK one, where I think a lot of these are more middle of the road.
Sure. Yeah. I other than Chris, I mean, and maybe Joey, I mean, there's not these characters that are out there. Everybody is, you're still getting to know them. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean,
but at the same point on the UK, I have my love and hate people. I don't have it here.
Right. I mean,
so
it's more like, to me, Rebecca, like Tommy, as far as from Survivor, like kind of this boring, like nothing.
He does. He has some okay impressions, but they're just, I don't know. I don't know. As I said, we'll see. I mean, time will tell. But as I said, the same point on the UK, I think they did a better job establishing it. I think the casting was just better. So we'll see. Alana does admit that admitting that she's a full-time model on her bio was a mistake. You are correct. Sammy tells Chris that Alana visited her and she was mad. Okay. And Chris thanked her for the intel. Showbomb and Joey had the most boring conversation in the history of television, only second to a Tommy confessional.
They were throwing down though. I mean,
it was painful. Antonio tells Mercedes he saved her, and she said, "That's cool, but I ain't got your back." and I'm not really gonna.
Yeah, we would see that, right?
She didn't even really give him the lip service that she had. She was like, we're good. Like, it wasn't like, thank you so much. That's really cool of you. Like she was just smart enough to take away the intel. Well, it looks like Sammy wanted me gone, and he didn't. So let me just play Sammy differently. And this dude sucks, and I'll do with him, whatever I want. So it was the beginning of Antonio's downfall. Like I think his stock as a player dropped in addition to his popularity.
Yeah. Do you think it was that? Or how much do you think him being an influencer right off the bat also kind of put a target?
Oh, yeah, no, that's not. You do not want to win that first influencer thing,
right?
So I mean, you get paintbrushed with the, you're a bad person. You sent not us. You sent someone home,
and that was the thing. I think both of them were trying to point out, like, hey, this was a joint decision. This wasn't me, right? And and when Alana came to see Sammy, that was the thing. It was like, hey, Antonio made this decision as well as I did. It wasn't just me.
I think Antonio took the majority of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much additional gaming Sammy was doing that they didn't show, but it felt as a viewer that they everyone kind of lumped the blame on Antonio.
Yeah, and and I think it's one of those things too. If there's this supposed girls' alliance and supposed guys' alliance, it's not, and all of a sudden the girl goes home. If those alliances are true, well, then yeah, it's the guy that sent her back.
Right. There you go. Next, Shuby is kind of pathetic and duped by Rebecca a little bit, but I don't think it was too bad for Shuby there. The Alana video message. Sammy feels bad after the Alana video message, and Joey is heartbroken. This was the girl he was going to marry, Dave Westwood.
It is heartbreaking. I would have loved to have seen that wedding, but it's not meant to be, Johnny.
But this is only to be followed by a threatening chat from Joey to Antonio. You sent home the love of my life, ruined my life as I know it. I will take care of you. But I also tried to be nice at the end of the chat because I just remembered afterwards that I'm playing a game.
Right. Yes. And you were the first influencer, so maybe you can be in a spot to send me home. So
yeah,
you kind of smartened up at the end.
Barely. Yeah. So now that Alana's gone, we have a new all-girls chat, and they're called Anything Goes. All right, I that's better than the Skinny Queens, I guess. It still sucks. So.
Yeah.
So we later play a game called Who Dis, where we see a picture of a celebrity, and we have to describe that person without saying their name, and then the other people get to guess. First up, we had Tina Turner. It looked like a younger demo might not get it. The legs were mentioned. We got it. Next was Meghan Markle. Would you have got? I could not pick Meghan Markle out of a lineup. I had no idea what her name was until tonight.
No, I probably would not have gotten it. Well, when they said the Prince Harry thing, then yeah, I probably would have gotten it at that point. Definitely wouldn't have gotten it on the first clue.
Like if I had gotten the picture, I might have said chick married to Prince Henry, but I wouldn't know if they had gotten it right or not. Like I did not know the name Meghan Markle. I don't even think I knew Meghan. Like I definitely didn't know Markle until tonight.
Yeah, well, I think I only remember her because she was on the One USA show. I forget which, the Suits or one of them. Yeah, one of the shows.
Sure.
But next, I think someone guessed the Queen. I think that was like the first guess.
Yeah. Now, next we have Spider-Man. I think that was the easy one. And then Shuby gets Chris Hemsworth with only the hint of beautiful blue eyes.
That was like finding an idol without a clue.
Right?
I mean, it was like, yeah, where did he pull Chris Hemsworth out?
I have, not even close. Next we have Fonzie, possibly the worst. I mean, just a thumbs up emoji. Right. 2 thumbs up emojis.
I mean, the first clue was like, what was the first clue? It was
the leader of one of the most popular leaders of a band of people or something,
right? And everybody's like Martin Luther King,
Obama, Jesus,
yeah.
No, Jesus was the answer for the blue-eyed. The most beautiful blue eyes. Jesus was the second correct answer.
Yes, and of course, I think that was the one where Joey, I believe, said Frank Sinatra.
He had to.
Yeah.
So, yes. So so all that was to get an invitation to a party in which they turned your lights different colors in your room and play a song. and you got glasses and a funny hat.
Yeah, didn't quite see the purpose of it, but hey.
Yeah. So it killed time for Miranda to move in.
Yes.
Miranda, she goes by the nickname of Randy, which I'm not sure you want to tell people that most people call you Randy in a game where everyone is suspicious of catfish.
Probably not. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, is it a guy? Is it a girl?
Yeah.
But yeah. Definitely not.
She is open to male or female relationships. But we find out later that she's not that open into female relationships. But we'll get it. It seems like she's a lot more into them at the beginning than
Exactly.
Truth will tell. So Miranda moves into the house. She gets to choose 2 pictures. And she chooses a close-up with no makeup, and then another one of her at the beach, not showing any of her tattoos.
Right.
So she doesn't want to be known as the tattoo girl. She doesn't want to give off what she would perceive as a wrong first impression.
The second impression, on the other hand, was just fine with all the tattoos, apparently.
Yeah. So, but I think she's so super cute. She's fun. I like 2 picks were good. She's using logic. She's smart. Sammy's second pick was great.
I would not disagree with that assessment.
Yeah, I like, and based on that second pick, our boy Joey is in love again.
Of course. He managed to get over what's her name real quick.
What's her name? Correct. That is correct. He too forgot her name. The problem with Sammy at this point, in spite of her second pick, which is full throttle greatness, she is looking more like maybe from Arrested Development by the second.
Yeah.
Not a compliment. Not a compliment.
No, definitely not.
I was very much attracted to Maeve on season.
Aaron might perceive it as a compliment, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. So let's see. Miranda is hard flirting with Mercedes, and Mercedes is throwing back the jib of the jab.
She definitely enjoyed it.
Yes. Next we have Miranda then flirting with Antonio.
Yeah, and it was interesting because she's trying to, I guess, make up for lost time since she was the last one in the house to this point, and trying to find whatever, I guess, angle she could to kind of
looking for openings. Yeah. Looking for cracks. So she I do think it's cool. It's kind of like the Outcast twist of Survivor. When a player is entering late, they're immune for the next tribal council. Just like this, Miranda cannot be rated or rate in the next influencer decision deal.
Yeah, and I think, you pull the move. If you could vote them out right away, you just send them back right away. So I think it's good that they get at least one shot to not and stay in the game to kind of establish those relationships.
Yeah, integration time. I'm more than cool with that. So I don't like it on Survivor when they don't give them that read. It's just like, hey man, like that. Give me all of just this much time. That's all I'm asking. This much.
Well, Chris Underwood got that much time, and
right? There you go. Next, we learn there's a rooftop jacuzzi. It's the world's smallest jacuzzi. It kind of looks like a piece of shit. Got kind of shocked the budget. Everything else looks so over the top, and pretty, and it's just like
the music and those lights, and they probably didn't have enough money left over for the jacuzzi, right?
How much is Relaxed by Frankie Goes to Hollywood really going to cost you in 2020? I mean, really.
True.
Well, that was the world's work. Well, I guess the big thing with the rooftop jacuzzi is, there's not going to be more than one person in it, right?
Yeah, and that's true, right? So how big of a jacuzzi do you really need if you guys are isolated the whole time?
Yeah. So there you go. So Joey is the person that gets the jacuzzi the first day they're allowed to do it. Maybe / Sammy gets it the second. But we learn in the rooftop jacuzzi that everything Joey says sucks. So he is not good with the gift of gab and saying things back and forth with other people. But in spite of that, he still talks and talks and talks. We later learn that Miranda is not as bi as she thinks she is.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
So when he got a little hot,
Yeah. In a revealing all girls chat, she reveals that she likes dudes but plays with girls, and the girls took that as the girls that did consider themselves bisexual consider that a slap in the face.
They did indeed. And I guess, good thing she could not get voted out or blocked. We'll see what happens going forward. If
I think
back to Honor, right?
Yeah. She did herself some damage. Like, don't portray yourself bisexual if you're not bisexual. So, I mean, I think she's part-time. She's like not even part-time job. She's she's got a job over Christmas, wrapping gifts. Like, she's like that bisexual when it comes, if you're looking at the full year.
So just over Christmas time, get a couple drinks in you, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think that she'd ever sell any favors. Shoe Bomb. We learn right here and throughout the episodes. Shoe Bomb yells like a horrible Big Brother diary room contestant. Also, not to be confused with Adam Klein on Survivor.
Well, I think he just loved getting attention.
Yes.
It was like Sally Field. Hey, you like me?
Yes.
So.
Yes. It was. God bless him. Shoe Bomb is he was winning me over throughout the episodes more and more. He's very likable and he has some really cool moments. And he's. I don't think Shoe Bomb knows he's playing a game. I think he might not have even heard the $100,000 prize. He just heard that he might get a friend.
And that could be the best prize of them all, because
you
already saw Joey lost a wife. Yeah. So,
so
if he gets a friend, then at least one. Yeah.
Yeah. So Joey and Shuby form an alliance. Losers Are Us. I don't know if they pinned the name, but they're thick as thieves. We have an anonymous questions deal where you can ask you were allowed to ask one question to one person anonymously. They didn't know it came from you, and everyone was very excited to ask their one question, and no one really answered shit.
No, and that was, I think, the thing that really hurt Antonio, because he was very non-committal in his answer. It was, like they said, it's like a politician. And I think that definitely turned people off. I think on a show where you're trying to portray honesty, it's a tough line, right? I mean, that's why Shuby comes across as likable, because like you said, I don't think he's playing. He knows he's playing a game. He's just being himself and being honest. Whereas other people, like you said before about Miranda, people felt deceived when she said, well, yeah, I just play with girls and, I'm really into guys. So but what's worse, right? You know, outright telling the truth and getting slammed for it, or just not giving an answer at all.
You got to ride the line. You got to give them just enough.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't think Antonia did that at all.
No.
Next we have Shuby and Sammy have a little good moment. So Shuby's very good. Like if you need that shoulder to cry on, he's ready, and he's not Joey, you know, trying to sneak in a dick pic while he's doing it. No one wants to see.
We're going to see any dick pics from Shuby this season.
Yeah, no, not without a blue chew first.
No.
Antonio goes from first to worst. So he is not happy about that. And
how the
and Chris and Shuby tie for first and also become our second influencers of the game. And I noticed this on the UK version of the Circle. Shuby says, "I got a blue tick beside my name," and that's what they say in the UK version. I always call it the blue check.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, well, he isn't really social media anyway. Yeah, I would say blue check mark, you know, or blue check, you know.
Yeah, he's the blue tick, and that's what they say. The UK is it's a blue tick.
Right. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see. We learned right after this, Shuby thinks Mercedes is a catfish. So, and I think if we've learned anything, you know, not only would Shuby like to perhaps have a friend when this is all said and done, him and Mercedes are easily the two smartest people in the house at this point, and from the beginning of the game.
They definitely seem to have more perception of the others than anybody else, clearly, because you know, Joey's way off on his, Sammy's way off on, you know, what she's thinking. So they are far and above the rest of the pack.
Like Shuby knew that Antonia was legit. He was just like, why? He's not saying anything that's like, he's not saying grandiose stuff. He's just like, I played I played here. I went here to high school. I played college ball here. Like, I mean, he's not saying things that are just like, no. I mean, he's not like, I'm the starting point guard for the Clippers.
Right. I mean, there's nothing that, if I'm going to make up a lie, it's not going to be the lie I'm going to make up, certainly.
Like, I mean, if he's saying, you know, I play professional basketball for France, Portugal, and Spain, my follow-up, and I wouldn't be shocked if this was Shuby's, what teams? What's the names of the teams? And if he doesn't immediately write, you know, the Portugal Dragons and the, you know, like within seconds, then I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. But I'm pretty sure he's going to write Portugal. I mean, because he doesn't have to type it. You just fucking say it.
True. Yeah.
So he's going to fire it right back.
Yeah. I don't know how much basketball Shuby watches, but
it doesn't matter.
You're right. Yeah.
Just a name coming right back.
Yep.
So that happens on the UK version. There's a sports related conversation from the straight guys, and it doesn't. Yikes! It does not go well for one. Let's see. Next, we have Antonio voted out, so Antonio chooses Mercedes. And is that the best person he could have chose to meet, or what? He rounds that corner and says,
"Holy meets the catfish," right? You know.
Yeah, I was waiting for Neve and Max to show, with the MTV to show up around the corner. You, sir, have been catfished. So, yeah. But she says flat out, would you have talked to me if I look like I do?
Yeah. I mean, at least she's being straight with him.
Yeah. So and you know and so he dishes intel and Mercedes processes it as opposed to Sammy, who was reluctant to take that information from a mean or mad Alana. So
yeah, and again, I think that goes back to that perception thing, right? Where she has her head in the game much more than some of the other players do. You know,
yes.
she understands the end goal is to win the game.
Yes. So we have Antonio sending his video message in which Joey learns that Antonio was not catfishing everyone. He is once again devastated because he's devastated every 12 hours in this house for some reason or another. And but here's where when he tells everyone else that he did meet a catfish before leaving the building, I think this is what puts Rebecca in the driver's seat. Because Rebecca, being a catfish, now knows that there's at least one other catfish, and no one else knows that.
That's true, because obviously Mercedes
is aware of herself being the catfish,
correct,
but not of another.
Right. She just knows that, hey, I know I talked to him, and you know, she kept everything cool, you know. Yeah. So but yeah, you're right. I think that puts him in puts Rebecca in a very good spot going forward.
Yeah. I think Mercedes probably has resigned herself to the fact that she's probably the only catfish in the house.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, you know, there's no reason for her to suspect that there's a second one. Yeah. Rebecca obviously knows, yeah, there absolutely is. I think it's just a question now of the other players knowing, hey, there is a catfish here. Who is it? And trying to suss that person out.
Yeah. But why is that necessary to, like, I mean, do you really, like, at the end, they have to meet each other. Do you not award someone the $100,000 if they are a catfish?
I don't see why not. And I don't, you know, and that's the one weird premise going into this game that I didn't get, right? That why catfish? Like, because it's not like Big Brother. It's not like some of these other shows where, you know, they're legit showmances, right? So in terms of, you know, the benefits of catfishing, you know, I'm not so sure the juice is worth the squeeze, but, you know, maybe going forward as we see the other episodes, maybe I'm wrong. But no, I don't think there would be any reason not to give them the money. Because again, I think hopefully they understand it's part of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think the guy pretending to be Rebecca, he justified his point. I don't know if it's valid, but I feel he justified it in that he said, look at social media. Girls get more likes.
Right. Yeah.
And in a game based on popularity, you know, I think he felt and I at some point agree that, yeah, girls are more like, I mean, you know, I can post something and a girl can post something, you know, and you know, 9 times out of 10, she's going to get more likes than me. And I got a blue tick beside my name.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's definitely true. If I post something, I'll get a couple likes. My wife posts something, she gets a ton of them. So that's absolutely true. So, you know, but then he's right in the middle of the pack though, you know, in this whole thing, you know, and again, I think this is one of those things where if, you know, you're that influencer, and you're aiming to get more likes, is that necessarily a good thing? Is that something where ultimately you put a target on your back? Certainly not for him at this point. But I guess, again, we'll see going forward.
Yes. So next we have a new alliance. I guess with the guys, they're called Destiny's Child.
Yeah. So of course, Chris there points out there's only one Beyonce, right?
Yes. So yeah. Next we have Mercedes reaching out to Sammy, saying that she was mad that Antonio didn't come see her. And Sammy's not believing 100%, but she's open to the idea. And Mercedes is pushing the target towards Rebecca for being the catfish.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, like we said before, they know there's a catfish there. Are they trying to get that person out? Is it a good idea for her to take the offensive and move that target away from her?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Next, we get a Joey gets a chat from Miranda, and I was shocked that he didn't fall. Oh wait, and he did fall in love again. But the good thing is, Joey believes anything that anyone tells him once again, and so we have a nice crying moment between Amanda and Joey. We learned that Amanda grew up in foster care. Or Miranda. Sorry, did I say Amanda? Miranda.
Yeah, you said Amanda, but yep, okay. I got it.
Okay.
And yeah,
Randy, as her friends call her in a game when you don't want to be a catfish. Next, we have the cake challenge, which once again, these challenges, I don't understand what they really win. Oh, this one you win a boomerang video. Sorry. Joey's cake is proof that he's not catfishing anyone.
No.
That cake is if you read the description of Joey, you saw the picture of Joey, and you saw that cake, everything jives up.
Yeah, I don't want Joey baking me any cakes anytime soon. That's for damn sure.
No, and Rebecca's was neat enough that it could have been from a girl, so that was very important.
Yeah, it definitely was a lot better than Joey's for sure.
Yeah, so Miranda wins, so she gets a boomerang video added to her her Circle app social media profile, and the girl that didn't want to show any tattoos went all in and showed every tattoo and a bikini, and people were looking at pictures that didn't have tattoos and saying maybe this isn't the same person as this person. I think I feel like Miranda went from 0 to 60 and maybe should have hit 25 or 30 somewhere in between.
Yeah, because obviously, now people are overanalyzing. Well, is this the same person? Oh, this tattoo's in a different spot. This is, she didn't have a tattoo here before. I think somebody pointed out that, Shuby needs to learn that people aren't born with tattoos.
Yes. Our smart narrator.
Yeah. But yeah, I think she, like you said, she went all in with the tattoos. And I guess if you're posting a video in a bikini, it's kind of hard to hide those tattoos. But, I would imagine there might be some older videos of her that, like you said, it would be at that 30-mile-an-hour speed and not, going all the way in.
Yes. Next, we learn that Jonny Fairplay could find someone that he really hated in this game, and that certain someone would be named Alex. Alex is an unemployed artist. Shocker. And I don't think I've ever hated anyone more in 4 seconds as I did Alex.
Well, fortunately, at least to this point, we didn't see him for much more than 4 seconds.
All I needed.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, we'll see him next week. But yeah, he described himself as a nerd. He was married to a female.
Yeah.
That was actually the most surprising part that I saw anyway.
I think she wore glasses, but I'm guessing the prescription is off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and Alex will be catfishing everyone as a player named Adam, who is extremely attractive. And I would say, just based on the early pictures and stuff, too attractive.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, did he just pick a picture out of a catalog or something and said, yeah, let me go with this one? I'm surprised it didn't say Shutterstock on the front of it.
Yeah. I felt it was too much. And I don't like, I see the conversations that Adam would be having with the other house guests, Alex not being able to answer some of those.
Most likely not. I mean, if he's a self-described nerd, depending on what the conversation is, and he's coming across as, this real handsome guy, no, absolutely not. So
there's a gravitas and bravado that an Adam or a guy that looks like Adam is bringing in a conversation that I don't think Alex has in his arsenal of tools.
No, and I'm sure we'll see that coming up, but I would agree with you totally on that.
Yeah, so I don't think Alex / Adam will be long for the world of the circle, or at least that's if my prayers are answered, will come true.
Got a couple, because you can't get voted or you can't get blocked.
Yeah,
in first round. So
well, maybe they could change the rules just for this asshole.
They can accept, right?
Yeah. All right. So two things. If you were playing the game, do you play as Dave Westwood or you go in the catfishing route?
I'm playing as me, just because, I think keeping up with the lie, can sometimes get difficult. And it's easy, especially in this environment, I would think, because you're literally by yourself, to kind of overthink everything. And I think for me, I'd get tripped up on something.
I think it would be Jonny Fairplay.
Yeah. Well, why not?
I think being Jonny Fairplay would help me.
Yeah. In a social game, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm fucking, you ever watch Survivor? I'm Jonny Fairplay.
Right. Yeah.
So ask me a question. I promise I can answer them.
And if you were talking to Joey, you could tell him about your dead grandma and put him into tears.
He'd be there for me. I do know that. He would be there for me. So all right. So my final question. What do you think of the Circle US episodes 1 through 4? Where are you at on this thing?
I'm all in. I enjoyed it. Yeah. And, I was surprised because, both of us obviously were scrolling through Twitter. I was surprised with it just coming on New Year's Day. Not a lot of fanfare that I saw. I was surprised how much posting there was about it, and not just, from people necessarily from, communities that we follow that might follow the Circle and have watched the UK version. But yeah, I'm definitely all in, looking forward to the next 4 episodes next Wednesday.
Do you think this is going to be a hit for Netflix or?
I don't know. I think it will be. They're always looking for original programming. I don't know how Netflix determines the ratings relative to traditional TV, but yeah, if
they know who presses a button.
True. So they know exactly how many people are watching it. But what's a good number? What's a bad number relative to traditional TV? I don't know. But I think if the online buzz that we've seen after the first 4 episodes is any indicator, yeah, I think it's going to be a hit.
Okay. I mean, like, this is step one of the changing of Netflix. I mean, we're used to Netflix dropping the entire season in one lump sum. And this is a 3-week event. We had 4 episodes drop today on New Year's Day. Next Wednesday, we will have 4 more episodes drop, and then we will have the final 4 episodes drop in 2 weeks. You know, this is a break from the norm of Netflix, and what they've warned us will be the future of Netflix.
Yeah, and do you think that's a good strategy for him, or do you think sitting there watching an episode, a season of Orange is the New Black for 12 hours at a time is a better way to go about it?
I mean, when it like the Orange is the New Blacks, like I've done the the 8-hour binge followed by the 3-hour, I've done it in 2 days or whatever. I just did this weekend. I did You season 1 on Saturday, and then You season 2 on Sunday. I mean, just power through it. I love that, but I mean, I watch The Mandalorian every Friday, and I'm not, I'm not mad that I have to. I mean, I'm okay with it, and especially dropping it in 4. This is it's a 3-week event. They're dropping it in 4 episode chunks. I'm not against it.
No, and I think there's something to be said about leaving you wanting more, right? So
Yeah.
if I can just sit there and watch it for 8-10 hours and then it's done, as opposed to having something to look forward to next week,
Yeah. Well, the 4 episode block spacing out over 3 weeks, I see people talking about The Circle for a month. Whereas I think if they drop all 12 episodes today, I don't think people are talking about The Office in 2.5 weeks, or the Circle in 2.5 weeks.
No, and I would agree with you. So yeah, I think it's in it, and it's a good show to kind of start that up with, to see if, hey, this is, how people want to watch TV.
Yeah. And if they did it, if this was like, if they did 1 episode a week for 12 weeks, I might tap out.
Yeah.
I think they picked the right amount.
Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely agree. I think it's, because, again, Netflix is something that you're used to somewhat binge watching shows anyway. So yeah, it's the right chunk of time. And also it's not like, other traditional TV where you're just watching everything on DVR, hey, it's going to drop, but I can go in there, watch these 4 episodes, boom, and move on. And I think it's the right amount.
There you go. So, all right, Dave Westwood, we can find you on Twitter at Q Westwood.
Yep, Questwood. Yep.
And thank you so much for joining me. This is cool. I don't know what you're doing next week, but I will be watching. Well, maybe you can join us next week, and we will talk more The Circle, and maybe in the off time you'll catch some UK ones that we can compare and contrast and see where we are in this.
Yeah, I definitely plan, when I'm not watching playoff football this weekend, to definitely check out some of that. If nothing else, it'll keep my wife from watching Little Women of LA or whatever crap she likes to binge watch.
Tremendous. And if you like content like this, please click the subscribe button where you podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and more, and give us a 5-star rating. And remember, you can get a t-shirt at JonnyFairplay.com. With every t-shirt purchase, you get a phone call from me, Jonny Fairplay, thanking you for your purchase. Right now, if you type in, I believe it's New Year's, you get 20% off. And we have a new Nora Mole shirt, Busty Can of Biscuit shirt, a new Russell shirt, Queen Sandra, Lex Legend, and more. That's JonnyFairplay.com. Links to everything can be found at SurvivorNSFW.com. And the best and most special way to support the podcast is to become a patron. Go to patreon.com/SurvivorNSFW. Become a patron today, and you join our secret Facebook page. You can be a part of the weekly Q&A, which is me and Matt Bischoff's favorite podcast of the week, each and every week. And that links to everything, once again, available at SurvivorNSFW.com. Thank you, Dave Westwood.
Hey,
good times.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thanks for having me. We do this next week, and maybe I'll grow my facial hair out so you can like you're talking with Matt.
There you go. It's a challenge. Thanks, everybody.